Good morning, everyone. Just fired up. Okay. Last night's session was a nice rebound from the losses that we saw the day before. I think really the reason why we recovered the way that we did is somewhere just after the start of the U.S. session, we had rumors that Greece has basically reached a deal with its creditors and that they're going to have to pencil something in the next couple of days. And so that obviously took that major worry away from the market. I think caught a lot of guys short as well because of the fact that we had a little bit of a breakdown and you started in the morning with a bit of a wobble as well, so you kind of felt like there may be a little bit of continuation. So I think a lot of the traders and short-term guys had gotten short on the back of that, and then obviously when the Greece news came, being on the wrong side of the market, everybody really chased it up quite hard. So it'll be interesting to see if anything comes through out of the Greece situation. Europe's essentially denied the news. The ECB has, and doesn't mean that that's not actually something in the works. Maybe they're just trying not to get the market's hopes up, but obviously that's a very, very important thing to the market. And as we move forward, if there's no deal, I think the longer that we start to go forward with no deal, the more pressure the markets will come under, and vice versa, obviously. If we look into the Asian session overnight, a bit of mixed action, no follow through whatsoever out of Australia, the Nikkei and the Kospi. Shanghai actually under pressure, down over 3%. Hong Kong, as we speak, down over 2%. So there's obviously some profit taking there. I mean, the market's gone absolutely parabolic, to the upside in Shanghai, and Hong Kong hasn't really been able to really keep up with it. But obviously some profit taking this morning for whatever reason. Right. Chart of interest this morning is showing the other employment rate. This is the insured rate of unemployment, and it's at its lowest rate in 15 years, which I think is obviously important. This being one of the most important measures that the Fed is looking at in terms of whether or not they need to start hiking, and this obviously gives them the case to start hiking. Today we've got Foschini Group at 2 o'clock. We're looking for Bloomberg consensus headline earnings per share at 9.11, revenue at 15.88, and divvy per share at $3.05. So keep an eye out for that at 2 o'clock today. Market data, we've got the UK GDP numbers quarter on quarter coming at 10:30. We've got consumer confidence out of the Eurozone at 11. Local PPI here 11:30, and then the States, we've got initial jobless claims at 2:30, and crude oil inventories only at our close. All right, let's get into the maps. So we finally, over the last couple of days, we've really had some real moves around, in the market of late. I think that of the last couple sessions, and we've seen some opportunities probably appearing technically. The one thing we'll look at here, this is Capitec, which made a massive reversal into the close. I say massive reversal, massive bounce into the close. I mean, the thing got absolutely hammered yesterday. At one point it was down like about 5.7%. I'd actually, if I was looking to play this head and shoulder, I'd be looking for it to give us a close below this level, which is at about 512. Intraday 510, when 510 snapped, which was the low on this day here, which if I'm not mistaken, that was the day that we got that was the day that they did the book build on the Black Empowerment deal. Once we got through the lows there, it really sold off hard, but in the rally toward the end of the day, we came back up toward the 518 where we closed. Like I said, if we close below 512, I think that we can play out this pattern in the head and shoulder potentially. All right, Steinhoff. Steinhoff also really came up and managed to hold. I mean, this at one point it was looking ominous for this stock. I think if there was any late day selling coming in, this thing was going to get trounced. And it's, to me, the reason why I would throw that out there, and that I think you can say that, is simply I think a lot of people are positioned long at this. Potentially coming into the index, and there's a bullish story there, and a lot of people like it, but the problem is that a lot of people maybe have it on, and so you could feel it earlier in the session yesterday when markets were looking really shaky, that this was actually one of the heavier ones. When we did start to bounce, it took the longest for this one to bounce. So we bounced back up to hold this level. This is a major level for this stock here at 75. You don't have to be a technical guru to see how big this level is, and we've had lots of touches on this line. We traded up here since we gapped from 70 bucks. There's been almost no trade between 70 and 75, so this is a very, very important level that needs to hold over the next session or two. Next one we'll look at is Life Healthcare. Just throwing out, this whole space has been under real pressure. We basically opened up below previous closing lows or recent closing lows around 36.30. Traded down at one point. I think we were trading low 35s, and we did trade up to almost 36 to close, but we made a new closing low. I think it's important. This whole space, Life Healthcare, Mediclinic, they've really taken immense pressure. Obviously, you can see here, Mediclinic also dropping its 200-day. Really didn't bounce for the rest of the market into the close, and kind of filling the gap from where we broke out here close to 100 bucks. So I think if we did see that gap fill to the breakout levels around 100, that's a massive correction. We're talking about upwards, close to 30% in terms of a correction. That gap fill would be a really good indicator potentially to look at along if we started to see a reversal off those levels. All right, Mr. Price, I think it made a really good hold yesterday of a really important level at 245. You can see how important that level is at 245. This thing's really been teetering, back and forth around this level for the better part of the month. And every day that we kind of get a hold, and every day that it manages to kind of hang in there and hold above this level, I think is a good day for the stock. And the longer we hold, obviously, the more likely we are to really get a bigger move to the upside. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, but I think a very good hold there out of Mr. Price yesterday. The last one that we'll look at is another in the retail space, that's SPAR. You can see really coming down. It kind of closed just below support, I think. But we still, it's not enough, I don't think, to really give you any kind of confirmation. We still got this little flag or descending triangle intact, which is, probably a little bit of a bullish setup here if we manage to hang on to these levels around 186. So just watch it closely. This could be we get a decent day out of this thing, and all of a sudden it looks very likely to come up here and rip above 200. And that's it for today, guys. Good luck out there.